Hello, everybody listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I'm joined with the Bronx Bomber or the Queens Bomber or the Tampa Bomber or the Brandon. I don't know where he reps. Wherever he reps, it's his birthday. A-Rod is here in the building. Look at him with the brick. He got the brick wall, whipping the brick behind him with the birthday balloons. Word on the street, my man's was spending like $2,000 at Charlie's last night with Tom Brady and them. Celebrating the Bucks win. Sorry, Rod.
Yeah, man. 35, another trip around the sun, baby. Just another day, but
you're halfway to 40. You're now officially closer to 40 than you were to 30.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm right in the middle though. I'm right there. But yeah, man. Love jumping on the pod to talk sports on my birthday, man. I would rather do anything else than this. So let's get into it. Let's get
into it, man. We had a crazy week one, man.
It was.
Here's your first takeaways from week one.
So my first takeaway from week one, it was just like super, super chaotic. That's what I took away from it. And then I feel like we talk about this every week when we're like, oh my God, how chaotic was it that everything we just saw? We weren't expecting any of this, but you know, players got to get used to the new coaching, the new playbooks, the new players around them. New regimes come in and just, you know, gut everything. And there's a whole new lay of the land that they got to get used to. But almost got two ties. Eventually the Bengals and Steelers game ended.
And we almost got two ties in week one. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. And shout out to the Texans, man. Like them boys are some hustlers over there, man. And to my sleeper team that we always say is not really a sleeper anymore. But yeah, man, week one was just super, super chaotic. We had teams, you know, lose that we weren't expecting to lose, like the 49ers, the Broncos, and, you know, everyone's getting rough shit, but 2 goal line fumbles really isn't his fault.
Yeah. Bad coaching error at the end is not his fault.
Yeah, that's not his fault either.
But he needed to play a little bit better though. I don't know why. Maybe because they booed him. I think he was expecting not to get booed when he got there. I don't think he's built like that where where people hate him. He's not. You know, like certain people play well when they're hated. Like Michael Jordan, you hate me, bet I'm gonna drop 60. Kobe, you hate me, I'm gonna drop 60. LeBron, I'm gonna drop 40, 20, and 10. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's built like that. I think that rocked him a little bit, honestly. Yeah. His numbers look okay, but look good, but you got to beat the Seahawks. You got to.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride. Yeah, that's the name of one of my fantasy teams. Let's ride.
Man, so whack. But yeah, man, it's good to have football back. Enjoy the chaos, and I love to see what week 2 brings. So.
How you feel about your Jets?
Well, to the people who said, you know, you have a chance against Lamar and the Ravens, I'd really love to have some of what they are smoking.
Who said that?
A lot of my friends said, don't be...
They're always appeasing you.
Yeah, of course.
They'll give you some birthday gifts, making you feel good.
I made this podcast for people who are like idiot Jets fans, man.
You got to drug test them.
For sure. What I took away from that game is there's still a lot of cohesion to be built there. Old man Flacco went out there and slanged the rock. He threw 1 touchdown, but he threw for 300 yards, which is great. But you got to score points. And my one takeaway from the game is wasn't a big DJ Reed fan, but him and Sauce Gardner together had, I think, 12 passes thrown to the corners and only 1 for 8 yards is all that was caught on both ends. So I'm happy to see corners are locked down again. If they're going to do, you know, mini islands or whatever you want to call them, I don't care. The Fiji Islands, the Canary Islands, the fucking Honolulu Island, I don't care, man. Saucy Island, whatever you want to call it.
The Sauce is like that from what you watch?
Yes, Sauce is like that. And I thoroughly enjoy it. And I've always been kicking myself in the ass. I'm like, we just got rid of Jamal Adams. Well, this is a year 2. Year 3, and Jamal Adams is hurt again.
He's hurt again.
I thoroughly enjoy Jamal Adams, but he's not getting hurt on the Jets.
It's a good thing they locked him out of the building. You know that video where he's locked out the building? It's a good thing that he locked him out.
Yeah, no, I miss Jamal Adams, but I mean, you can't if you don't sign the guy and you take with players like get what you can. Got good picks out of it. So I'm content with it, and I'm loving Sauce. I'm all on the saucy train.
You got to get that sauce from a Wingstop. That sauce, that Gardner sauce or Sauce Gardner sauce, whatever they call it. It's a nice little sweet, smoky little kick to it. Tastes good, man. Tastes really good. I give my boy his credit, man. NIL deal in the NFL. You got to give the boy that credit.
I'll give it a try. How about you with the Eagles, man? Because it was a crazy game.
Yo, honestly, for first and foremost, being from I spent the first third of my life in Detroit, Michigan. I've always had I never cheered for them openly, whatever, but I'm gonna have a soft spot for them because when I lived there, Barry Sanders was my favorite player. I just hated the Lions so much because Barry Sanders was so damn good. And we did nothing for him. So I was like, man, you know what? Bump this. I want nothing to do with the city. So, but after watching him on Hard Knocks, it was nice to get, first of all, Aiden Hutchinson, go Blue, University of Michigan. He's the real deal. We haven't even seen Jameson Williams yet. You know how much I wanted him on the Eagles. He's going to probably be around by week 8. The offense looked pretty good. The defense had its moments, but for the Eagles offense, we are stacked. AJ Brown had 165 yards or something like my boy went the hell off. It was like too easy. Our running game, we had a 160-yard receiver, and our running game was still crazy.
Before you continue, can we give Miles Sanders some flowers? He finally got it.
First of all, Matthew Berry,
and what it did,
bro. Yeah, you poo-pooed on Miles Sanders all summer, so I didn't draft him. I drafted Ramondre Stevenson over him. My boy went the hell off week 1. You poo-pooed on Cam you hyped up Allen Robinson. He ain't do nothing. But no, Jalen Hurts had a touchdown. Boston Scott had a touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell had a touchdown. Yo, we can run with anybody.
In any team, like those all would have been Miles Sanders touchdowns, but they spread it out to everybody, which is crazy. Yeah. And we talk about I'm getting off topic really quick, but we talk about the QB carousel and the booth carousel, and maybe Belichick is losing his marbles, and maybe finally his time is done. Has Matthew Berry's time finally come and gone?
Yo, yes, he didn't stay with ESPN, so he went over to NBC, and his takes have gotten worse. Yeah. He got cold. Do you remember cold pizza before first take? His shit is cold, man. That pizza is cold. I'm done with Matthew Berry. I don't know why I gave him a chance. I know I should have went with my gut, but it is what it is. But long story short, though, we got to short some things on defense. I'm not really crazy about how we approach the defense. We have the talent. We just didn't approach defense right. That fourth quarter, we shouldn't have let them back into the game. But long story short, though, we have the talent to win a Super Bowl. Honestly, I'm not even being hyperbolic. I know it's going to be impossible to beat the Bills and all these other teams, but we do have the talent on the field to put ourselves in position to be successful this year. So I'm personally very happy with what I saw. We just got to shore up some things on the defense, honestly. And some of our big name signings, like I didn't really feel what's his name from Georgia. Both of them from Georgia, Nicole and big boy Jordan Davis. I didn't really feel their presence. I didn't really feel Hassan Reddick enough. So I wanted to see a little bit of that. But Bradbury had a pick already. Slade pretty much got mossed, but he had some good plays as well. So, we made some mistakes, but to leave with that kind of victory on the road, that crowd was crazy. That the defensive line was coming after us. So I'm just happy we got the dub, man. That's the most important thing for me. But that leads me to obviously, it's week 1, everybody plays Monday morning quarterback and overreaction and all that stuff like that. So we're going to do overreaction week 1. Typically, they say overreaction Monday kind of thing, or Monday morning quarterback. It's the middle of the week. You're getting this take in the middle of the week now that we've had time to digest it and watch Monday Night Football and all that stuff. So we go division by division. I'm starting with the AFC East. And we're going to start with the Thursday Night Football game, the first game of the season. It was supposed to be a beautiful night for the LA Rams. and they got their shit pushed in by the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they got mollywopped, shellacked, whatever synonym that you can think of. They got it taken to them. So my overreaction number one, because I've heard it all weekend, the Buffalo Bills are unbeatable, and they're clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl. What say you?
The Buffalo Bills are definitely beatable. And you know me and my takes with the Bills. I always have like a little tiff with them, and
As you should.
it's just it's not even that. Like, I mean,
question before you go: both parts overreactions that they're unbeatable or clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl, or
reactions? It's game one of the season. Okay. Like, everybody calm down. Yeah. We saw what Patrick Mahomes did, and we were like, "Oh, he has no targets. He threw 5 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Get the fuck out of here,
dog."
I just think, you know, the Bills are going to do what the Bills do in the end. They're going to find a way to lose. But the best thing that they could have done was go get Von Miller. Von Miller is a perfect game from the beginning of the season because he played in that defense. You know, he played against that offense in practice. He knows what Stafford looks like out there. Mm-hmm. So he's got some identity with that. And I always say that the Bills never had a sound voice on defense. And I feel like that's what he'll bring to the team. I feel like Von Miller's very vocal, very fun with the young guys. He's pleasable, everybody around, defense, offense, and he makes football more fun for them because I feel like everybody on that Bills defense is really good, but they're just like mindless robots. And they're like, I must tackle a ball. I must go after a receipt. Like that's just the kind of players they are. They're just like, doesn't look like really fun. They look like they look like they want to kill. Von Miller wants to kill, but also have fun at the same time.
That shit look fun. Keep in mind, Buffalo Bills got us a fantasy championship last year. That was our defense that we rolled with the whole year. So clearly they did something right. Did you know a fun fact? They had the number one defense in the NFL last year and had 0 Pro Bowlers.
That's
either 0 All Pros or 0 Pro Bowls, whatever the stat was. 0. That makes 0 sense, bro.
It does. Also, I'm not going to get into that. I was going to talk basketball again, but we're not going to do that. So,
but keep in mind, Davis White didn't even play week 1, so they're only going to look better moving on in the season. You know, from my perspective, I wouldn't say they're unbeatable, but they're one of the best 2 or 3 teams I saw this weekend. I mean, Josh Allen looked like a combination of Cam Newton and Andrew Luck out there. They're actually running the ball. I mean, Devin Singletary was actually running the football. I'm like, wow, they're actually paying attention to the run now. And now, you know, Stephon Diggs is going to do what Stephon Diggs does, but now they can actually trust Gabe Davis to be number 2. He is like that for real. Both sides of the football, they look fantastic. The AFC East, the Patriots are going to be not good this year. The Dolphins, they can beat the Dolphins, in my opinion. Not that hard. It would not be that hard to beat the Dolphins twice this year. So, I like Buffalo, man. I really do. They're going to be one of my teams at the end, but I would call it an overreaction for now. Let's simmer down. It's week 1. We'll have this conversation again in a few weeks.
Yeah.
All right. No, go ahead.
No, it's absolutely. It's week 1. Like, everything. I know we want shit to talk about, but Buffalo does this hot out of the gates all the year, all the time. So,
but to admit, they looked fantastic. On a special night for the Rams looked like a JV team. Like it was their Super Bowl ring ceremony, whatever they call it in the NFL, and they got shellacked at home. Like it was pretty bad. So there was more Buffalo Bill fans there because you know Bills Mafia is crazy, and the Rams, the LA with the Chargers and the Rams. It's still tough. That's a Raiders town still.
It's identity.
So we're gonna see. All right, let's move on to the AFC North. My overreaction week 1 from stuff that I was hearing, but could be possibly true. I'm gonna hear what you got to say. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to have a Super Bowl hangover and completely miss the playoffs. What do you think?
Overreaction? Is that what you're saying?
Is that an overreaction, or is that is there merit to it? Is that spot on?
I think there's merit to that. I think it could happen. What did we say last year? Or what did we say like first episode? Joe Burrow is the luckiest quarterback I've ever seen play this game.
The whole playoffs, I was like, bro, how are they winning these games?
even Sunday, he threw like what 4 picks? He's never thrown 4.
No,
picks.
it was like 3. I think it was like 2 or 3. But it was an ugly game all around offensively for them.
He did not look like the Joe Burrow that we know, and he still found a way to get them into the game. And obviously, he can't control a block punt or a block field goal or things of those parameters. But he still found ways to get them in there. And Jamar Chase is a freak. Jamar Chase would have had 3 like highlights that would put Odell out of business on his.
His the way he's able to like, the way NFL receivers are able to get their feet in bounds when they're in the air trying to catch a ball, worry about a defender, and then toe tap. That's why they should be. That's what they get paid $20 million a year to do. Like seriously, and Jamar Chase, he's one of them. Like there's levels to like, receiver talent. Them LSU boys, him and Justin Jefferson, they are them. They are Himothy University.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say an overreaction. I would be like, I would agree with that. Once again, it's too early to call. It's first game of the season, but I could see that happening this year. The Super Bowl hangover and just the luck doesn't strike this year. And we saw it in that game. They didn't end up winning. So
one thing about me, for how I see life in general, history is going to be your best teacher. History tells me that there's always going to be a Super Bowl hangover. That's kind of just what happens. You make it to the Super Bowl, and for the Bengals case, to me, they made it to the Super Bowl by accident. They got sacked 9 times by the Titans week 1. I mean, that first playoff game. That second playoff game, who did they play? No, they played the Raiders. I forgot how it went. Long story short, the fact that they made it to the Super Bowl was a shock to me. And they almost won the damn thing, which is even more of a shock. So to me, I think, the target, because now they're the hunted. Last year, people weren't taking them seriously. I mean, it was the Bengals, right? Now they're the hunted. I feel like, you know how Mike Tomlin is not going to lay down to nobody. And the Steelers and the Bengals have a huge rivalry. So I think it's not an overreaction at all. But I will say the fact that they had to play the Steelers week 1, you have to go against Mike Tomlin. It's like, how Belichick is against his former coaches or against, against rookie quarterbacks. I think Tomlin has that same effect. He's not going to lay down to no Cincinnati. So we'll see how they look moving on. They got the Cowboys next with Cooper Rush.
Also, I'd like to retract my statement about the Steelers fizzling off. Because after I saw Mike Tomlin buy them boys black Air Force Ones, they're hitters, bro. They are hitters.
When I saw them Air Force Ones on Instagram, I'm like, he's one of them too. Mike Tomlin is like that. And then after the win, you know how back in the day, Mike Tomlin was not about that TikTok shit. My man was in the locker room ABing on him. I was like, Mike Tomlin, really, you know how like Nick Saban back in the day used to be like, run the football, play defense. And then out of nowhere, it's throw the football and let's score 60 points. And we're like, wow, we cannot believe Nick Saban is like coaching like this now. To me, Mike Tomlin is finally like, let me embrace this Gen Z shit and let's enjoy ourselves. I mean, Chase Claypool needs to be on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like all these young kids, like I heard an interview earlier today with Aiden Hutchinson, and Dan Patrick asked him, he had to pick a date with his girlfriend or go or play Call of Duty, which way he choose. And he was really questioning it. He was like, well, it depends on how important the date is. So like, it's a different generation. Like this is that important. I mean, they had to put a clause in Kyler Murray's contract. You gotta stop playing too much video games. So it's a different era. And that's why these younger coaches are doing well. I mean, think about it. McVay, the Bengals head coach is young. Tomlin is young. The Chargers head coach is young. Brian Daboll's, pretty young. Like these young coaches, they know how to adapt to this generation of player. So I like it. It's not an overreaction though, but it's not an overreaction. So we're gonna leave it there. All right, next, AFC South. This one I came up with myself. The AFC South will be the worst division in football this season.
Agree.
You agree?
I don't think it's an overreaction at all.
Bro, they nobody won. And one of them played each other. Nobody won.
I know. It's bad.
I mean, for me, I mean, you just break it down. I mean, just look at, you know, because we talked about it last week when we were trying to pick who we think are going to win the division and stuff like that. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. I was like, maybe the Colts, maybe the Titans, shoot, maybe the Jacksonville Jags will surprise people. But the Jags, they're going to fight, but they're still a young team, young nucleus, brand new head coach. Tennessee, we're going to talk about the luckiest number one overall seed I've ever seen in my life. The worst number one overall seed I've ever seen in my life. I was saying it all last year. I'm like, how is this team going to be number one? And you know how I shit on Ryan Tannehill. You know what I mean? If they don't get Malik Willis in that quarterback soon enough, they're not going to have a good season, no matter how great Derrick Henry is. The Colts, I told you last week, I've been hearing it for years. Oh, they're a sleeper team. They're a sleeper team. I think they can be a dark horse once again. And now they're about to go play the Jags in Jacksonville, and they haven't beat the Jags in Jacksonville since 2015. So if they start 0-2, just saying. And then the Texans, who we thought was going to be super trash, they played their ass off. You know what I mean? Like, they gave it everything they had and tied with the team that everyone picked to win that division. So honestly, you know, the NFC East was getting shat on for the last couple of years. They're calling us the NFC East. The Giants won, the Commanders won, the Eagles won, and the Cowboys is trash as usual. I think this year, the AFC South, for sure, for me, worst division in football, definitely not an overreaction. And you agree, correct?
You hit the nail on the head. We can go.
Next, we're going to go to my dog, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will have a better season than his MVP year. Overreaction or no?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. That's a good one.
Let me pull up his stats for his MVP year.
Pull it up. I'm curious to know.
All right, Patrick Mahomes MVP season. So I know for a fact he had 50 touchdowns. How many yards did he have? Keep in mind it's an extra game, so that's going to be a little skewed. But his MVP year, he had 50 touchdowns. Golly, man. 5,097 yards. 9.6 yards per attempt. 318 yards a game. QBR was 80.3. God, man, he was a dog, man. His passer rating was 113.8. And every year since then has been kind of a he went 50 touchdowns in 2018, 26 in 2019, 38, and then 37. Right now, obviously, he came out the gate with 5. We know the Chiefs. We talked about the Chiefs. I'm not the Chiefs, the Cardinals. We talked about the Cardinals last week. There's some shit going on over there. Yeah. It does not smell good. So is it more that the Cardinals are just that bad, or Patrick Mahomes might actually be on that track to even be better than he was in MVP year?
They've dubbed him the baby goat already, man. Like it could be doable. I mean, a lot of these great players win MVP twice. Maybe he doesn't eclipse those numbers because those are really tough to eclipse. But dude threw 5 touchdowns his first game. He's on his way to at least getting close to.
He was locked in.
He was locked in. Really good. He looked really good. And that's what I told you last week. And like, what scares us about the Kansas City Chiefs is their defense. But if he's doing shit like that, who cares, man? He's gonna be.
If they go put up 45 points every game, hey, do what y'all gotta do. He's 26 years old. He turns 27 in 3 days. And you know what they say, when 27 to 30, 33 or whatever, that's your prime. So technically, he's just entering his prime. Now, I remember I said 2 years ago that it's possible, because I look at Russell Wilson's career, you know what I mean? It's possible that he never wins another Super Bowl, right? I think them losing Tyreek Hill, like every great player needs something to make them motivated. I think them losing Tyreek Hill was I mean, I said it over the summer. I was like, yo, they're going to be fine. That was exactly what the doctor needed, like order or whatever. Like everybody ate. I mean, all his running backs ate. Kelsey obviously ate. All his new receivers ate. Like brand new first game of the season, brand new offense. Everybody ate. So, and once again, Eric Bieniemy is a dog. Hope we'll see when he gets a head coaching opportunity. But for me, I won't call it an overreaction. I really do think that he's going for that MVP this year. Like I think he's got that dog in him. You know, the memes with the shit. Like he dead ass does have that dog in him. And I think he's going for that shit this year. So I'm going with not an overreaction at all.
I agree.
All right. Let's get to the NFC. We're gonna start off with the East because why not? The Eagles are the best team in the NFL, but whatever. This to me, I don't know. The Cowboys will have a losing record this season and fall flat on their face once again. Is that an overreaction?
I mean, not having Dak Prescott till week 8 is going to be tough, and I don't know what you're going to get.
Dude, we don't know if because Jerry's not putting him in IR. And remember, Russell Wilson rushed back last year. It was like what 4 weeks. So technically he could come back in 4 weeks. And the schedule coming up, I'm gonna pull it up, but you can continue.
Yeah, I mean, we got to know what the ramifications of Dak is to really say for me to say anything, because Cooper Rush ain't the answer, and I feel like the team offensively got worse. So
I have a question for you. What did Dak Prescott and that offense do prior to him messing up his finger? Because that happened late in the fourth quarter. They had 3 points at that point, and it was like with 5 or 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So what did that offense do in the first 3.5 quarters with Dak Prescott?
They did nothing, and we were expecting a gunslinging event like we had week 1 last year, and that's what we got. I'm always such a big advocate for Zeke because I really like Zeke a lot, but I just don't know where his head is at. Like, does he rather look like a Power Ranger or does he want to play the game of football?
That helmet was mean.
That was mean, but that's the difference. Is those guys that go out there.
He looked like he lost weight too.
He did, but is his head in the game? That's the question.
I mean, like he was only allowed to run the ball 10 times, and to his defense, 5.2 yards to carry against one of the best defensive lines in football. I mean, against the run, they're clear cut like number one like last few years. Like you can't run on that team. So to his defense.
Also to his defense, he has Mike McCarthy as a coach. So, you know.
And that's the problem. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. So I don't want to call it an overreaction. It's hard for the Cowboys to have a losing season unless like the whole team falls apart. But everyone knows they did not get better over the offseason. Like they got legitimately worse during the offseason. And the Eagles got better. The Commanders got better. The Giants clearly got better. The NFC East is not going to be a pushover anymore. And we're dealing with a guy with an injury. Michael Gallup's not back yet. I've been saying it, CeeDee Lamb is not a number one receiver. You know how Juju was eating when he had AB on the other side? You realize Amari Cooper, yes, he wasn't eating like he used to, but he's still getting the number one corner. And that's why CeeDee's able to kind of, because Amari Cooper's an amazing route runner no matter what. And CeeDee was able to get busy in the middle, especially when you have Michael Gallup and homeboy that they sent to Cedric Wilson to the Dolphins. I think CeeDee Lamb, he's going to have to show me because I'm not buying it right now. But, I mean, looking at the schedule coming up, they got the Bengals at home. The Bengals is coming off a loss. I don't think they're trying to lose that one. The Giants, Monday Night Football in the Meadowlands. Giants, don't look at no pushover. The Commanders right after that. The Rams, then the Eagles, then the Lions. It's going to be, we're going to see. We're going to see. I think they can go 500 these next few games. For them, so the question is, they'll have a losing record. I won't say they'll have a losing record, so I think that's an overreaction. I still think Dak is still pretty good. I mean, Michael Gallup will be back in a couple of weeks, and the defense, for what it's worth, they played pretty well. For what it's worth, the defense played pretty well. So I think their defense is going to keep them around for a little while. So I'll call it an overreaction. They'll still have a winning record, but we'll see about the playoffs. We'll see about that.
I agree with that.
All right. NFC North. This is a two-part question. Aaron Rodgers needs another ayahuasca trip, or the Vikings are just that legit. Division winner legit. Where do you lie on that?
I think a lot of people are overreacting on Rodgers out the gates because remember we said it last episode. He got blown up by the Saints like what was it, 30 something to 3.
38-3.
Yeah. And then he came back and went on
But
his
who did he have in his back pocket last year?
He did. He had those guys.
Devontae went to Las Vegas and still put up the same number. So clearly Devontae is him. Aaron Rodgers is him too, obviously, but he does not trust his receivers.
What I took away from that game is, yeah, the Vikings are the real deal, but they've also been the real deal for a couple of years now. They just kind of like the Buffalo Bills, fall flat on their face somehow or can't do it. And I think this is the year, like I said, Justin Jefferson could be like a Triple Crown winner. He could do what he can do, Cooper Cup numbers.
Definitely.
He has the best separation, in my opinion, in all of football. And he's just sharp in the end zone every time.
There was a video I saw, he killed Jair Alexander. Like, and I love Jair Alexander. He like destroyed him. So yeah, he's for real.
He's for real. And Aaron Rodgers, and I said this on the last episode, how many receivers have they had that he's made better each year? So somebody has to make that jump. Lazard wasn't there this time. Lazard was one that's familiar with that. I'm not expecting Lazard to make the jump. I'm expecting one of the young guys to do it.
He was hyping up Robert Tonyan. I didn't see him.
Tonyan did his thing. He got like 50 yards. I mean, but he can't be the guy that's like, I feel like he's also coming off a major injury too. True. So he's back from the ACL surgery, and you could see that he was targeting receivers most of the game, and none of those receivers look like they were on the same page. The running backs look fine.
Yeah, he can definitely trust Aaron Jones and Dillard. That I know.
Yeah, but the rest of the guys, like
Dillon, my bad, AJ Dillon.
Yeah, like the rest of the receivers, no, they looked like they didn't even read the playbook. They're
young. Dobbs is young. Christian Watson dropped a wide open deep bomb first play of the game. That's too much pressure to put on that kid. Honestly, that was a horrible play call in my opinion. I mean, the play call was fine. The person that they did it with was not the person I would do it with. Yeah. I mean, for me, yeah, Aaron Rodgers needs to take all them boys to Costa Rica, and they need to go like have a trip together. Like they need Aaron Rodgers seems like this grumpy old man that is like, you get off my lawn, and he does not want these new kids around him. Like he ripped them a new one over the summer on TV, and right after the game, he was like, yeah, it sucks. Like the way he speaks, like I personally would, and I've been such a fan of Aaron Rodgers for so many years. And then lately, I've we're kind of breaking up a little bit. Like, and I would not want to play with Aaron Rodgers. Like, I would play with Tom Brady every day of my life. I would not want to play with Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's just, I don't know, man. The way he's kind of condescending and arrogant. Like, I don't know. It's just the way he speaks.
He's not stable. He's just not a stable person. Like, he says one thing and then does another thing. And then the whole COVID thing was just like, no one expected this. Like
he's damn near 40 and he still hasn't figured anything out about his life. Like he's still trying to figure out who Aaron Rodgers is, and that's alarming. Like I don't know, but the Vikings are going to win that division. I think we were talking about it last week. I'm like, I think the Vikings can. I think they will. We're talking about the Giants. The Packers defense is going to be the reason why. I said the Packers defense will be the reason why they should win that division, but Kirk Cousins, when he plays against Aaron Rodgers, he's a different human being. So, like, if it comes down to where they're both like 11-6 kind of thing, I think the tiebreaker is probably going to go to the Vikings. So, I think yes, they need to go on a trip together so they can get to really get to bond and get to know each other. And yes, the Vikings are just that legit division winner, legit.
I think we're jumping the gun quick too, because remember how we were talking last season about the Kansas City Chiefs. And we also said they could go on, and win 13 games straight. And what do? They won
But the talent the Chiefs have, I know. I don't see on offense. It's the quarterback and the two running backs. That is all we know for sure. Everybody, the offensive line is not as good. I mean, Zadarius Smith was getting after his former teammate. Like he was getting busy in that backfield. And they got Daniil Hunter. They were just getting busy in that backfield. The offensive line does not look. Is Bakhtiari back? I got to check on that. I mean, the receivers, huge question mark. They're all young. Sammy Watkins, I don't remember if I heard his name. Like it's all. I don't know, man. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. But you're right. I mean, it's still Aaron Rodgers, and they can figure it out and go on a little tear. But I felt more confident about the Chiefs last year than I felt about Aaron Rodgers and his Green Bay Packers right this second. That's just how I feel. So
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised, but I'm still sticking with Green Bay. I still think the Vikings make the playoffs still.
Yo, when Aaron Rodgers loses to the Detroit Lions whenever they play them, then I know it's for real. Or the Bears, because like, I still own you. If Justin Fields goes and beats Aaron Rodgers, we're going to have another conversation. All right, let's get to NFC South. Tom Brady. Obviously, we know my man's going through my man's 45, and he's going through a lot of shit, man. He's going through a lot of shit. Here's the question. Tom Brady and the Bucs won't overcome all their injuries and bruises this year and will be one and done in the playoffs. Everyone got them going to the Super Bowl. Everybody. Because, I mean, NFC doesn't look that great. So, what do you think?
I don't. I think I'm a huge Todd Bowles fan. I'm a huge Todd Bowles fan. So, I think he's the right guy for the job. And I know the Godwin thing, I feel like it's rushed. The way they rushed him out there, trying to rush him again. But Mike Evans, I say this every fucking year. No one is talking about Mike Evans.
They never do, which makes zero sense to me.
The guy has literally had 1,000-yard season every year of his career.
You know who he kind of reminds me of? Like, it took us a while to really realize how good Larry Fitzgerald was until you realize how good Larry Fitzgerald was. Like, yo, Larry Fitzgerald is a Hall of Famer. He's about to break all these records. Like, he's number one. He's number in top 4 in every receiver record is Larry Fitzgerald. And I think Mike Evans is well on his way to just do the same thing.
I think so too. And Mike Evans is, in my opinion, top 3 receiver in the league. That's
no way. Not at all.
I think so.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams.
I'd say I'd put him over Devontae Adams. I'm sorry.
Just smoking crack.
I am, but I've
please stop.
I say
we're going to make this a clip.
But like I always say, the guy just doesn't get his praise, man. He's
top 3,
top 5 for sure in my book.
5. I just named 5 receivers better than him: Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase.
I know, but this
Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams.
We don't got to go over every receiver. Okay?
I just gave you 5 better.
Hey, that's in your opinion. I'm putting him in my top 5.
Hey, lo siento, papo.
The GOAT is throwing him the ball, and he's making plays on that. Devontae Adams wasn't making the plays we saw with Homeboy out there. I know he had that nice route run that he did where he shook the DB, but other than that, he looked very obsolete out there to me.
Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Did you see his stats?
What was it? Did he have 100 yards receiving?
Bro, he had 144.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had 10 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown in his first game in this brand new offense.
Then, whatever.
Alex Rodriguez.
I'm smoking crack. It's my birthday.
I know you got the meat sweats from the state.
Right. Regardless, like I still put Mike Evans in my top 5, and I feel like he's one of the most disrespected receivers in football, that we don't give him the flowers when they should. So if he can at least stay healthy, because we know what Julio's going to do. Julio, all you guys that went and got Julio Jones this week in your fantasy squad, don't be surprised if he goes out with some kind of hammy injury.
Can I interject? I agree that could happen, but he looked way better than he did the last couple of years. He looked amazing. I was very wrong about how I thought he was going to come out the gate.
I think because Tom makes it fun to play football again. And I think Julio was having a blast in Atlanta until they lost that Super Bowl. Then he was like, I don't know if I can just get my head back from that. That's a hard thing to come back from. Mm-hmm. You're the clear-cut favorite to win that, and then you lose it.
28-3. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. So now you've gone to the evil empire in Tampa Bay, and you're rejuvenated over here, and you're having a good time.
Youth.
Yeah. So I don't think they're a one and done in the playoffs. I think they get one playoff win, but I don't have them going to the Super Bowl though.
Okay, we're gonna see. All right, for me, I don't know, man. Tom, I feel like Tom's gonna get hurt. I mean, I don't wish injury on nobody ever. No matter how much I don't like a team, whatever. Dak, Cowboys, it don't matter. But I feel like he'll get hurt, man. That was like until Leonard Fournette had to like beat the shit out of Michael Parsons, blindside hit him. Yo, Michael Parsons was getting to the backfield way too easily. And that offensive line, Dallas Penn got a little arm issue. I mean, everybody. I mean, obviously Godwin with the hamstring. Tom Brady on his podcast was talking about, well, I woke up with bruises and scratches. And he's talking about commitment to the game. I don't know, man. And then his wife is in the media again talking about, I told him what do you need to prove? What do you need to prove? Like I've never heard Tom Brady, besides Deflategate, have this much shit happen. It's only September 14th, 15th, 16th, whenever you listen to this. It's the middle of September. And he has all this shit going on. So, but the Deflategate year, he did go and win a Super Bowl. Like he got suspended for a game, he came back and won a Super Bowl. So he does feed off of that kind of criticism, kind of like a Michael Jordan kind of thing. But I don't know, man. Something don't smell right. Like I've been saying it. Something don't smell right in the city right now. So I'm holding on to that one. Oh, it's not an overreaction for me. Overreaction for you. Which at the end of the day, the NFC is not that strong. Like it's not that strong. So he should win a playoff game. But I don't know, man. He might get got. He might get got. All right, last one. This is not even an overreaction kind of question. It's just a general question. Who's in the most trouble in the NFC West? 49ers, Arizona, or the Rams? Who would you say is in the most trouble out of those three teams? Because right now, the Seahawks are the number one team in NFC West. If you told me that last week, I would have told you it was on crack last week. So out of those three, who do you think is in the most trouble?
I would say the 49ers. I would say the 49ers. I think the Rams can right the ship with the offense. The only thing I'm upset with the Rams is how McVay's handling this Akers thing. Like I think if you drafted Cam Akers, but
I kept him.
It's kind of tough for you to call out a player on TV in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Especially young ones now, because the same thing I was saying about Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray's team will get better throughout the season when Hopkins comes back from suspension. James Conner's still a bully. I think the 49ers, though, because now you've got Elijah Mitchell gone for 4 months, and what were we saying about the 49ers? They have a running back carousel over there, and then they get rid of a guy that we were promised.
They signed Marlon Mack, go Bulls.
Yeah. And now they've got, I don't know, Wilson running the ball. Mm-hmm. And, Debo's probably just like having a conniption in the locker room. And I didn't see it from Trey Lance. Like, there was a good pass he had in the beginning. But other than that, the Bears, bro.
I mean, the weather was bad. Yeah. The game was at Soldier Field. I mean, he had some starts last year, but this is like his first real, all right, you the guy. This is not an injury start. You are the guy. That's a lot for a kid who has not played that much football in the last few years.
It is. And then the other issue is Jimmy G. You got Jimmy G still on that team. Yeah, Jimmy G's I would have won that game. It would have been ugly.
He would have.
I would have won.
You definitely would have.
At what point does the Trey Lance experiment get paused again for the Jimmy G winning season to get put back on? So that's the team that I'm scared about, would be in that division. And also shout out, I cannot stand Geno Smith, but what a quote, man.
I was gonna say it at the end of the show, but I'll let you say it. Happy birthday. Go say it.
Oh man, Geno Smith. They wrote you off, baby, but you ain't right back, and I love it. I love it.
That is my quote for the rest of my life. They wrote me off, but I ain't right back, though.
I saw a different level of maturity in Geno Smith I've never seen in my life in that game.
He's humble now.
He is humble, because I remember the carousel with the Jets. It was the worst. And then with the Giants, it was bad. And then with that New York media market. I mean, it's if you're not a great team and you suck,
it's even magnified. It's even worse.
It was his leadership skills. They were bad.
Yeah. On top of that.
He shouldn't have been the leader anyways.
Yeah.
So quarterback, they want you to groom that. Plus a black quarterback. Come on, man. Like I get that, but
he looks way better now, though. Like just from a leadership standpoint, Pete Carroll really likes him a lot, like loves him. So that helps.
So I'm thoroughly happy for Geno Smith. I hope he continues to do well in Seattle. So.
Yeah, for me, the most trouble for me is Arizona, man. Like we were talking about it last week. I think the 49ers are going to figure it out. The quarterback situation is going to be messy for the first few weeks. And then once they figure it out, they're going to figure it out. Arizona, man, they did not look interested in playing football. And then you got your head coach going on in the press conference. We had a horrible week of practice. Like week one, how do you have a horrible week of practice in your, like no one's hurt yet. Like we just started the season, bruh. I don't know. Like, Kyler in college was annoying to me. Kyler in the NFL still annoying to me. He's not a leader by any means whatsoever. I swear he should have chose baseball. I said it from the start, and I stand by it.
I said the same thing too.
He needs to be on the diamond. Like he needs to go be there. Like this football shit, as talented as he is, he cannot rally these grown men. And I don't know, man. I just the talent is there. I mean, obviously he has an arm. Like that's why he's good at baseball and football. He has an arm. He's quick. He's quick feet. All that shit is real. But the mentality to be a quarterback in the NFL, I need to see a lot more. And I'm not really feeling it with him. So I'm picking Arizona to be in the most trouble. Let's carry on really quick before we get to our next couple of things. Just want to talk fantasy for like 2 seconds. How does your week one go? Who are you the most impressed with, or who are you the most disappointed with fantasy football? Because I went 0-3 this weekend. I had a horrible weekend of fantasy football, but hey, whatever.
3 leagues, all 3-0, baby.
All
So
right.
1-0 in my league. So I think what surprised me the most was I don't know, man. Justin Jefferson really surprised me. Like that
really? Yeah, I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. I mean,
2 touchdowns. I thought maybe 150 yards and a touchdown, but 2 was
184, 9 catches, 2 TDs.
I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes was kind of a surprise because at work we have fantasy leagues, and each week I'm the commissioner. Oh God, it's tough.
I can't do it.
Each week we reward points for positions. So this week was for quarterback.
Oh, okay.
So like they get like a gift card or something like that. So Patrick Mahomes lost to me, but they get the dub there for the small gift. But Patrick Mahomes definitely surprised me with his 5 touchdowns. Like I know he's a bad man, but 5 touchdowns are just a lot.
Yeah. For me, Saquon, man.
The Bears deep. Oh yeah, and
Saquon, like I knew he was gonna have a good year. Like I really believed, like he looked healthy in the offseason, but he looked fantastic. Like he did not miss the beat. 164 yards, a touchdown, 6 catches for 30 yards.
Shepard too. Give some flowers too. Give Sterling Shepard some flowers too.
Yeah, I can only give one giant a flower. Okay, come on.
But Sterling Shepard, like we were watching that game. And like every time that they were like get up from a play or like get a touch, and we're like concussion, concussed.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna make Saquon my fantasy darling moving forward. I think like on DraftKings, I'm definitely gonna be targeting. I'm gonna be seeing what games he's playing. Hopefully, he's still cheap. I don't know if he's gonna be cheap no more, but yeah, I like how Saquon played. And then from a fantasy failure standpoint, for me. Cam Akers and Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Both of them. And then everybody who plays for the Cowboys, all of them, the whole squad, the whole franchise, all terrible to me. And then also they hyped up Dameon Pierce so much, and Rex Burkhead was the bell cow. So
I knew that was going to happen, but Lovie Smith also said we got to make more plays from him, and that's their fault.
Yeah,
so
correct.
I look for Dameon Pierce to have a bigger game next game. So
yeah. Did you have any injuries on your end? Because there was a lot of injuries. I mean, Godwin hurt, Keenan Allen's hurt, Elijah Mitchell, Najee Harris, Kamara T. Higgins.
I have Chris Godwin in 2 leagues, so that one sucks, but I have good replacements. And then I had a shit the bed moment when Buckner went out, and I had to watch Reed kick that field goal, and then I saw Buckner come back in. So it's good that he came back in and got me points. He's hurt this week, but picked up another one just to replace him for a week, so we'll be okay.
Anybody on your waiver wire? People already picked up people. Anybody that you were targeting this week?
Tight end. Irv Smith was one that disappointed me big time.
Irv, yeah. Kyle, I have Kyle Pitts. Pitts disappointed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
He was my second, it was my keeper league. It was 3 keepers. So he was my second round pick. Mind you, there's 36 players off the board, but he was my second round pick and he shot the bed. So I have Allen Robinson who shot the bed as well.
I like to play the young tight end game because they end up panning. I did it with Noah Fant one year and it took me to a championship with him. And then he just kept getting hurt. So I thought Irv Smith was going to have that type of impact.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have it, to be honest with you.
Possible. I mean, the offense is still dynamic, so it's possible. But all right, cool. And now let's move on really quickly before we get to our pick'ems. Obviously, it's your birthday. Your favorite sport is baseball. I'm giving you the floor, and I just want to get your pulse. Talk to me, Mr. MLB guy. Just give me your pulse. What's going on in the world of baseball? What's grinding your gears? What's making you happy? The floor is yours.
In the world of baseball, man, everybody knows I'm a diehard Yankee fan, and they've been up and down since coming back from the All-Star game. So the month of August was really bad, and September is showing life. And it's everybody's fault except Aaron Judge's. I'm sorry, I don't want to be.
Aaron Judge is a Greek god. Like, for real, like, we're gonna look 200 years from now, we're not gonna be alive, but they're gonna be like, yo, that one Aaron Judge guy, he was a Greek god.
It's a real deal. And it's not his fault. I know it's a team game, but he's producing the runs. Mm-hmm. If I hear anybody say, like, well, he didn't come up in this big moment, yeah, but he scored the only 2 runs on the team for the
exactly.
I want to hear it. The guy can't, like, go 5 for 5 every game. So
I have a question. He's not going to hit 73 home runs, but he's going to pass Roger Maris at some point. Who are we going to consider him the single season home run leader, or are we still going to get out to Barry Bonds? Because for me, I'm still going to give it to Barry.
Yeah, it's still Barry.
All right, cool.
Don't say that Barry counts. Like, screw you. Like,
because everybody was taking steroids when Barry Bonds was allegedly taking steroids. I'm just going to keep it 100. Everybody was on that shit. So.
Absolutely. Maybe put an asterisk by Barry's name, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, call it what you want. He was never found like he had anything. He just looked like he did, obviously, but no, it was never actually been proven.
It was like Megamind out there.
Yeah, it was never proven.
I look for Aaron to hit 60 though, for sure. And the Mariners, man, they're scary. They're scary.
I love I'm a Julio Rodriguez like fanatic.
I am too. My new favorite player.
That he's honestly my favorite player in MLB right now. So
the Mariners, they're a scary team. When they're clicking, they're really good. And I mean, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, first to get already into the playoffs. The East is tight, man, for you. It's tight. It's up and down between the Braves and the Mets, and you're trying to creep in there too.
Well, we're not creeping for no number one seed in that division, but we get in the wild card spot. It's ATL, us, and San Diego. Milwaukee's kind of there, but I think it's going to be ATL. I mean, whoever wins between the Mets and the Braves, we'll see. I don't really care. But we're getting in there, and then San Diego is kind of like up and down. I like what we're doing. We got to get healthy. Zach Wheeler got to get back. Bryce is still getting to the swing of things, but I like how we look. So
I like how you look too. You went and got the things you needed. Which brings me to my last topic of baseball. We can move off of it. Is the San Diego Padres, who when we talk about football, and we're like the Arizona Cardinals have an identity crisis of what's going on. This is the organization that has it, man.
You're right. Good call.
They are so gung-ho. And it's not even to win the World Series. It's just to beat the Dodgers. It's just to beat the Dodgers. And I'll never forget where I was. I literally watched the Juan Soto trade. And the next day, was it Round the Horn with Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon come on, and they said literally they got to win this series. They got to sweep them or win the series for things that they got swept.
Yep. And then a couple of days later,
Giants swept. Yeah. Well, then the Giants swept them, and then Tatis, like that's hurting them. And apparently, I'm hearing a lot of people are upset with him in the clubhouse.
It should be. I mean, this in their head, this was it. They went all in when they got Juan Soto. All right, we're all in. Like that. Clearly, that was the mindset. I mean, he was getting ready. He was ramping it back up. He was about to be ready to be on the mountain again. And I don't know. He had a ringworm or whatever.
It's just sad. Like I want to, like, Manny Machado is one of my favorite players too, and I root for him. But at what point is Manny gonna be like, I got to get out of here, man? This is a shit show that's going on over here.
Yeah, I mean, he signed a long deal, right?
He did, but I'm really like appalled at the Dodgers. The Padres for all of that. And then they go and get the best closer in baseball, and now he's like the worst closer in baseball.
What the hell happened there? Like that's it's.
We didn't understand that move. I talked about it on Townie. Like, we don't get this move, but they knew something that the Padres didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think playing in San Diego and in California is a different lifestyle than playing in Milwaukee. Just a bunch of drunks out there, like,
bro, yeah, shit. You can go to Mexico, bro. My cousin lives in San Diego. It is the most beautiful city in the United States of America. Like, for real, like, people will tell you that. And you can go to Mexico whenever you want. Like, literally, it's right across the street. Go get some tacos in Tijuana, right? Distraction is a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. And if he's distracted, he's distracted. If the whole team's distracted, hey, I mean, the Angels have lost 7 years in a row without a winning record. 7 years in a row without a winning record. Obviously, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, and they're a winning organization. But the mother boys in South California,
the Dodgers keep players together. Also, my last thing before we go to pick'ems, if anybody votes Ohtani over Judge for MVP, you're smoking crack.
He's gonna get a vote or two.
He will.
He's gonna get a vote or two.
I'm over that. Like,
he's going to get a vote or two. Let's be honest. He's gonna get a vote or two.
He will, but it should be unanimous. It should be unanimous.
I mean, I agree, but he's gonna get a vote or two. We just know how this shit works because this. He might have pissed somebody off in the media, and I'm never gonna vote for this guy. Like, literally, that's how it works. So,
absolutely, it's too political.
Right. And Ohtani is like a darling. He's like he's starting to speak English now. Like, but he plays for a horrible franchise. So there's that.
Let's go. Let's run it.
Let's get these pick'ems out. So A-Rod destroyed me week 1. I kind of expected that to happen. I said it was going to happen last week. I'm like, I was just picking with my not my head. I was picking with my heart with all of those. All of those was heart picks. I thought I picked the Vikings, but I know I didn't. I was just trying to trick them. So A-Rod, what 4-1?
4-1 and 1-4.
All right. So let's get. Let me try to get back on track. We got 5 more games to look at. Let's start off with Thursday Night Football: Chiefs versus Chargers.
Such
a huge one.
This is such a good one.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to determine for me a lot in that division, to be honest.
Even game is in Arrowhead, by the way.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Same.
Arrowhead.
Same. The Chargers played the Chiefs very well last year.
I know we're both.
And Khalil Mack already had 3 sacks. Damn. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. I'm gonna ride with the Chiefs here. So we're both here. All right. We're going back to the Cardinals, and they're playing the Raiders. Another huge game in my opinion. 2 West Coast teams. Obviously, one's in the NFC, one's in the AFC, but 2 West Coast teams that are trying to find an identity. Cardinals versus Raiders.
Give me the Raiders for the first win.
Where's the game being played at? The game is being played. Give me the Raiders. Damn, I can't make up any ground. Yeah, give me the Raiders. I got to take the Raiders on this one. Like, I want to see Kyler Murray show me something. Like, this is a huge game for Kyler Murray. He needs to show me something, but I got to go with the Raiders because they're not going to be able to stop Devontae Adams. All right, here we go. Bucks versus this house of horrors, the Saints. Who you got?
Oh, man. God. No Godwin. Julio sees this opponent a lot.
That defense looked pretty damn good too. Like the Bucs defense looked pretty damn good, man.
Give me Jameis. Give me Jameis.
I was trying to talk you off. I'm gonna pick the Saints. I was hoping you would pick the Bucs. I gotta pick this. All right. I'm taking the Bucs. I'm taking the Bucs. Fuck it. I hope the Saints win. But give me the Bucs, whatever. Happy birthday. All right. Washington Commanders had a decent win. Carson Wentz looks rejuvenated versus the scrappy, kneecap biting Detroit Lions.
Ooh, it's a good
I love how they both played week one. I ain't gonna lie. So who you got?
Well, this is a tough one.
I know. I picked some tough ones.
I really want Dan Campbell to win. I really want Dan. If Dan Campbell's gonna win, this is gonna be the week he does it. I'm gonna pick Dan. I'm gonna pick Dan the Lions.
Okay. All I need to know is where is this game being played? Because that crowd was insanity. So the game's in Detroit. I'm taking Detroit. I'm taking Detroit. We're on the same page here. All right. This last one. Dolphins versus Ravens.
Man.
The game is in Baltimore.
Give me the Ravens. Fins down.
Man, that one's actually tough for me.
It is a tough one.
Ravens versus the Dolphins.
I'm going with Lamar, baby.
I want to go with Lamar, man. I wish the game was in Miami so that he can just show out. I don't know, man. I feel like they might have a dud. I mean, I don't want the Dolphins starting 2-0. Give me the Ravens. I picked the Ravens to make the Super Bowl. I'm sticking by it. Give me the Ravens. So we only disagreed on one. I got the Bucs. You got the Saints. So I can't make up any ground. Let me see if I want to change one. Nah. You know what? Give me the Commanders. Nah. Give me the Lions. We're gonna stick with that. Are we done?
I want to switch mine, but you say it all the time. Oh, you're a huge fan of Dan Campbell, so I'm sticking with my Dan Campbell pick there.
Pick Carson Wentz. He looked good, man. He looked good. 4 touchdowns. McLaurin looked good. Samuel looked good. The Dotson looked good. They looked good. Gibson looked good.
I'm a Dan Campbell.
You know what? I'm picking the Commanders.
All right.
I'm sticking to the NFC East. Let's go Carson Wentz. Here we go. Trying to make some moves here. I'm going with the Commanders.
All right, there we go. We're all set.
So,
all right, let me give the plug. You can find this on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Fairweather Podcast, Twitter, Fair_Weather Pod, and wherever you subscribe to podcasts. You can hear the audio there. TikTok on the way soon. Just waiting on my counterpart.
Just waiting on me to join this damn Gen Z bullshit, but whatever.
Happy birthday, Nas.
Happy birthday, Nas. Happy birthday, A-Rod.
Happy birthday.
It's somebody else's birthday too, right?
Happy birthday, rest in peace, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, Amy, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got for birthdays today. I do it every year. Shout them out.
They wrote me off, but we ain't right back.
We ain't right back. God, what a quote for Gino, man. Gotta love it.
Peace.